Thank you so much. Mr. Secretary General, I'd like to ask you about Syria. We haven't heard from de Mistura much about the transitional period, the political transitional period, which is at the heart of the Geneva communique. You keep referring to 2254, but 2254 enshrine the Geneva communique and ask for the full implementation of that communique. Now, the transitional period with the British ambassador said it's a must to achieve any progress, stipulate the establishment of a governing body with full powers. Are you still behind the transitional period? Or are we talking about governance, which is a government of national unity with Assad as in charge? We know you met him this morning, or you're meeting him this morning. Are you going to stress the importance of talking about the transitional period?
I think that is clearly one of the tracks that need to be pursued in the Geneva conference that will take place in the 20s. That is, of course, one of the central issues that this conference needs to discuss.
But it is the core.
Of course, it is part of the essential discussion that needs to be made. But of course, all the other aspects need to be also on the table. I think it's important to have an open discussion without preconditions, but that aspect you mentioned is, of course, in the core of our concerns.
It's still the core.
That's, well, I'm saying, that is in the core of our concerns.
Yeah, Raghida Dargham Al-Haya. So about the three guarantors of Syria, the Syrian ceasefire and the political process being non-Arab, three of them, Russia, Iran, and Turkey. There is criticism of the UN associating itself strongly with the Astana process, that excluding the Arab countries. How do you plan to compensate for that? And is it your opinion, do you share the opinion that calling for the foreign troops, all foreign troops or foreign presence, military presence in Syria, that they should withdraw, does that apply to the Iranian-backed militias or the ones who are coming from, whether it's Afghanistan, Iraq, or Lebanon? Is it your view that this should apply to them, or they should be excluded? And are you? I hear you're going to Iran. Are you going to Iran soon?
Well, first of all, in relation to the question, I think that if the UN would not be in Astana, we would be tremendously criticized to allow for a process to move onwards with the exclusion of the UN. I think our presence in Astana was an absolute must in order to guarantee that after Astana we could have Geneva, and in Geneva we could discuss the key political aspects that are essential to be on the table. Of course, in Astana we had not all the stakeholders, and I believe that a solution will require the full commitment of all stakeholders, and Arab countries are a key component in finding a solution for the Syria crisis. In relation to the process onwards and the future solutions and the need at a certain moment for all foreign troops to leave, I think that should apply to everybody without exception. But this is a long process of negotiation that is starting now, and I hope will be concluded positively for the Syrian people.